Hello, I'm George. This is Phat Farm. If you're new to the channel, this is an 8-year-old permaculture designed food forest. What I want to look at today is we have a lot of ladybugs on one of our nitrogen fixing bushes. So I talk about planting all of this in guilds to mimic the edge of the forest, because every year the forest turns green from the bottom to the top and dies back in the fall and gets bigger and better every year without us doing anything. We don't plant, we don't rake, we don't put transplants in there, we don't water, we don't fertilize it, but the forest does it itself. So by mimicking the forest in our backyards, we're meeting all those functions. So today we'll look at the ladybugs on a nitrogen fixing bush. Is pulling in that nitrogen from the ground and the air around it, storing it for the plants around it. It's also calling in beneficial insects for us. We'll go down and look. I know there's ladybugs all over right now. There's some parasitic wasps. All wonderful insects to have in the garden. We'll go down and have a look. Brown chicka brown now. Some ladybug love there. There's one up under here. It was down earlier, it was just loaded with them. There's still quite a few on it. So those ladybugs, make sure there's no aphids in the garden, or very few. They feed on the aphids. And that's just one small nitrogen fixer there. That larger bush there is also a gummy berry. I haven't looked to see if there's any on that. We'll take a quick look. I don't see any right off the bat. Oh yeah, it is. I just thought fly and land up there. And you can see from here, there's just a ton of insect life in that autumn olive there as well. It's the nitrogen fixing bush. So by planting in these guilds again, having root crops, ground covers, herbaceous layer, dynamic accumulators, the climbers, fruit trees, and taller nut trees as the canopy layer, we can mimic the forest but produce a tremendous amount of food in our yards with the least amount of work on our part. There's a lot of work in the first few years, digging all these swales, putting the ponds in, the design, planting these plants. All things we really love though, because we're working on our own yards, our own properties, our own lives. Now I just wander around and talking to this camera and hope to get people to listen. Sorry, was me. But anyways, planting in guilds. I'm gonna try and improve these videos a little bit this year. Melinda has said we should do more of a teaching environment, so I'm not just wandering around talking about the yard. If you watched this far, please tell me what you've liked, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of. I appreciate the feedback. Again, George, Phat Farm. This was a lawn that we didn't like to mow 8 years ago. And now, for the next 8 months, it's going to produce the freshest, most beautiful food we've ever eaten, and create storage food 3 months after that. Change can be better than a holiday. Peace.